Yes. I want to thank Sister Bernie yesterday for dinner. Thanks for hosting us. Queenie and I were there, although a short time. Thanks to Sister Bernie. Let me get this started on Just a Word TV. And now we are testing to go live on Just a Word Radio as well. Just got it sorted out not too long ago. So let me get it going. Connecting. Okay. This should be it. Let me just test this to see if we are live on Just a Word. Okay. This should be it. Let me just test. Okay, yes, we are live on Just a Word Radio as well. So we're going places. We're moving from strength to strength. Let me get the link for Just a Word TV right here. And I'll place it in the chat. And that is a link that you can share with everyone. Okay. Shalom, everyone, and welcome once again to another of our weekly teachings here on Just a Word. We are live on Just a Word TV. To the bottom part, close the bottom part. And also live, this one, the bottom of this one. Yeah, and also live on Just a Word Radio, Just a Word Just a Word.tv and Just a Word Radio.com. We are in the Feast of Unleavened Bread, the Sabbath in the Feast of Unleavened Bread. The Feast of Unleavened Bread started officially on the 15th, but really from Passover night, the 14th. So we are now at the 19th, and that's the middle of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. So it is very fitting that we examine leaven, because a lot of people will be keeping this feast for the first time, and even those who keep it might not understand it, or if they do understand it, they need a reminder about leaven, what the Feast of Unleavened Bread is all about. And what we can tell you about this feast is that it has great spiritual significance. The feasts of Yahuwah are all spiritual, are all powerful spiritual beacons, all right? But the world does not understand it because the world is not spiritual. The world does not obey the commandments of the Father. And if you do not obey the commandments of the Father, it's not going to give you his word. And let me give you the recitation that tells us that. Psalm 111, verse 10. Every time you hear me, I say it every day. The fear of Yahuwah is the beginning of wisdom, a good understanding of all they that do his commandments. So if you don't do his commandments, you're not going to get the understanding. It's as plain and as simple as that. And so they look on the feast and say, oh, they're Old Testament feasts. Oh, you're going back into Old Testament rituals. Oh, they don't understand. Feasts were given forever and all have spiritual significance throughout history and will not stop having spiritual significance. It's a reason he gave them to us forever. But now you come, and the reason that the Christians criticize this feast is because they don't understand it. And how can you understand what you do not keep? How can you understand what you don't keep? So, because they don't keep it, they do not have the understanding. And not having understanding, they become critics. All right? We're going to show them that they have nothing compared to this spiritually. And every feast that the Most High gives us is for our spiritual and physical benefit, because we have to look at the story of the feasts. All right. There are two sets of feasts. There are those that are in this is the wrong caption. Let me get this caption. This caption is also wrong. All right. This is what should be there, the meaning of the feast, all right? Sorry about that. So we have the spring feast and the fall feast, and each one of the feasts carries significance, and each one of them have a progression between our transformation until our final resting place in the kingdom. And so Wednesday kicked off the spring feast, Wednesday night, and it was Passover. And Passover, of course, refers to his mercy and favor, what they call grace, favor, mercy and favor from the Most High. And that mercy and favor is for those who are repentant, those who are willing to cleanse themselves and turn from sin will receive the Most High's mercy. And so on the night of the 14th, which was the 17th of this month, we have this Passover, which signifies his mercy and favor. But right after that, flowing right into the Feast of Unleavened Bread, into the Feast of Unleavened Bread, the Passover flew right into the Feast of Unleavened Bread. And the Feast of Unleavened Bread it signifies his purging and cleansing. So now that we have been repentant and we have sought his mercy and his favor, we now have to be purged and cleansed. Purged and cleansed. So the old man is gradually processed. The dross is melted away, leaving the gold. That's the process of what the Feast of Unleavened Bread signifies. And then, right after that, tomorrow is a feast, is a day of first fruits. First fruits is offering. So when you are repentant, you receive his mercy and his favor, you are purged and cleansed. Then when you are purged and cleansed, then you are worthy to offer up offerings unto Yahuwah. Because you know that the priests could not offer up offerings when they were unclean. They first had to cleanse themselves before they offered up offerings. So this is a process. Cleansing before you can offer up anything unto Alua. Now, when you make your offering, then the Most High gives a period of cleansing. The period of cleansing continues until 50 days time after first fruits. We have Pentecost or Shavuot, which signifies the giving of the Holy Spirit, the giving of the Ruach. So repeat, you're repentant, you get his mercy and his favor, you cleanse yourself, you offer up unto him, then he rewards you with the gift of the Holy Spirit. Right? Those are what the fall feasts signify. Why do you need the Holy Spirit? You need the Holy Spirit because there's a gap between spring and fall, which is summer. Summer signifies heat. So when you are given the Holy Spirit, then you go through a period of heat. That is when the dross is really, really purged from off you. All right? So the giving of the Ruach, and between the giving of the Ruach and the Feast of Trumpets, you have this period of summer. And then fall comes, and then we have trumpets. Then you should be ready for the kingdom. The fall feast signify the kingdom. The spring feast signify preparation. Fall, the kingdom. So the Feast of Trumpets, on the Day of Trumpets, we're told to blow the trumpet. All right? The trumpet signifies attention. Bring your attention to the kingdom. Bring your attention to the return of the Messiah. All right? I think it's about 10 days after the Day of Trumpets, we have the Day of Atonement. I should have put in atonement here. Sorry about that. Day of Atonement. And the Day of Atonement is 1 day of cleansing, 1 day of 24-hour fasting that to cleanse you. All right? A day of fasting and repentance, one final cleansing before you are ready to enter the kingdom. And then after that, think about 2 weeks after that, I don't quite remember. You have the Feast of Tabernacles or Sukkot, which signifies the final rest in the kingdom, finally reaching the kingdom. So you see, all the feasts all signify a journey. It's a journey from zero to hero, from nothing to something, from the old man to the new man entering into the kingdom. All right? That's what it's all about. So we're going to look at the unleavened bread, the purging and the cleansing right now. Okay? All right. So here we go. I need a reader, somebody gear up, either Shamuel or Wayne. If Wayne, if you're echoing, I hope you're not echoing Shamuel, if he's available.
He asked me to read.
Shamuel, if you're muffled, we need good mic, Shamuel.
Hello?
Yeah, who's that?
Go That's ahead. Me. That's Shamuel.
Wow. You don't have your mic?
I do. Why you cannot hear me?
Oh, it sounds kind of not so nice. Anyway.
Let me change it, all right, cool?
Yeah. Exodus 12, 13 to 20. We're going to look at the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Oh, come on. Exodus 12. Uh-huh. 13 to 20. No, was it? 13 to 20, yeah. No. 14 to 20.
14 to 20.
Yeah, verse 14, yeah.
All right, verse 14. And this day shall be unto you for a memorial, and ye shall keep it a feast to Yahuwah throughout your generations. Ye shall keep it a feast by an ordinance forever.
Notice it says you shall keep it a feast throughout your generations, and he repeated and said you shall keep it forever. That means there's no end of days to this feast. No end of days. There is no Old Testament feast, because forever goes past the Old Testament. Okay? And yeah. What are the instructions here? Verse 15.
7 days shall ye eat unleavened bread. Even the first day ye shall put away leaven out of your houses. For whosoever eateth leavened bread from the first day until the 7th day, that soul shall be cut off from Israel.
And this is a very extreme feast. Whosoever eateth leavened bread shall be cut off from Israel. He went on to say, anyone who will eat any leaven shall be cut off from Israel. So we should put leaven out of our houses. So no mistake is made and no error is made in our eating. All right, so we can eat comfortably, knowing that whatever we pick up will be clean. Those of us who are living with other people and cannot do this, we have to be concentrating on diligently on everything we eat to make sure we do not transgress. Verse 16.
The first day there shall be an holy convocation, and in the 7th day there shall be an holy convocation to you. No manner of work shall be done in them, save that which every man must eat, that only may be done of you.
All right, so the first day was a Shabbat, all right? So the day that they call Thursday, that was the Shabbat of the first day, and then Wednesday coming will be the last day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. All right. Verse 17.
Ye shall observe the Feast of Unleavened Bread. For in this selfsame day have I brought your armies out of the land of Egypt. Therefore shall ye observe this day in your generations by an ordinance forever.
Notice he said this is the third time he's telling us that it is forever. How can these people be reading the Bible and saying it is done away with? Boggles my mind. Verse 18.
In the first month, on the 14th day of the month at even, ye shall eat unleavened bread until the 1 and the 20th day of the month at even.
All right. All right. So, I just noticed something that, I just noticed something I never noticed.
What's that?
This also tells you when a Shabbat ends. The first, remember, the last day, let's look at it. In the 7th day, there shall be an holy convocation, which means it's a Sabbath, right?
Yeah.
Which is the last day, right?
Yeah.
And then you go down here now, and it tells you, in the first month and the 14th day of the month at even, that is Passover, you shall eat unleavened bread until the 1 and 20th day of the month at even. So the 7th day, the Sabbath of the 7th day, the last day of the feast of unleavened bread ends at even. The Sabbath ends in the evening. And we're going to look at that more later on because we're going to look at the leaven of the Sabbath further down. And we're going to look at that. Yeah, you got it, Shamuel?
Yeah. Even and even, yeah.
Yeah. Verse 19.
Verse 19. 7 days shall there be no leaven found in your houses.
Oh, hold on. You sound muffled. Your mouth too close to the mic or what? What you need to do, you need to turn up move your mic away, your mouth away from the mic and turn up the volume on the mic.
All right. Is it better?
Just step back some more.
All right.
All right, go ahead.
Verse 19. 7 days shall there be no leaven found in your houses. For whosoever eateth that which is leavened, even that soul shall be cut off from the congregation of Israel, whether he be a stranger or born in the land.
All right. No leaven found in your houses. This is critical. Make sure of what you're eating, people. Verse 20.
Ye shall eat nothing leavened. In all your habitations shall ye eat unleavened bread.
So what we're going to look at today is to try to understand what he means by this. Why this seriousness about leaven? Why at this time no leaven in your house? And why is he so serious? You shall be cut off. All right? We're going to look at the hidden dangers of leaven. And we're going to look at the spiritual meaning of leaven. Yeah. And notice in 24, what did he say again?
And ye shall observe this thing for an ordinance to thee and to thy sons forever.
Okay. This is the 4th time in this passage. In this chapter, he's telling us we must keep it forever. So how can it be done away with, Shamuel? Why are you saying that it is done away with? Shamuel, why would you say that it is done away with?
Because we need an excuse to not be obedient.
That's it. Okay. Bread of affliction. We're going to see the unleavened bread, the nature of the unleavened bread. Why he gave us the unleavened bread? Read Deuteronomy 16, verse 3, please.
Deuteronomy chapter 16, verse 3. Thou shalt eat no leavened bread with it. 7 days shalt thou eat unleavened bread therewith, even the bread of affliction, for thou comest forth out of the land of Egypt in haste, that thou mayest remember the day when thou camest forth out of the land of Egypt all the days of thy life.
In other words, we are never, ever, 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 ever to forget the time in Egypt. That's why it's so important to remember. That's why it repeats throughout the scriptures, I am Yahuwah who brought you out of the land of Egypt. You're not to forget it. Why are you not to forget it? Oh, my mic is too loud. Why are we to not forget it? Because it will repeat itself again. Simple. It's going to be repeated again. So you keep reminding your generations after generations, until the time comes when it really happens. Then that generation will be prepared and ready. And notice he calls it the bread of affliction. You cannot be purged or cleansed. You cannot be purged or cleansed unless you are afflicted. Okay?
Okay.
The Messiah said, if any man follow me, let him deny himself. You have to be afflicted in order to deny yourself. And this is why the final feast before the sixth feast, which is the Day of Atonement, we are told that we should afflict our souls. For one day, we should afflict our souls. So the unleavened bread is designed to afflict us because, of course, we are flesh and we are spirit. We cannot deal with the spirit without dealing with the flesh. I want to explain to you why we have to physically keep unleavened bread. Now, religions like Christianity, for example, they concentrate only on the spiritual aspect of things. They ignore the flesh. So the flesh is never tamed. Remember, the flesh and the spirit are always battling. As the Apostle Shaul said, the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh. So that you cannot do the things that ye would. So what you want to do, the good you want to do, you cannot do it. Because ignoring the flesh is going to lead you to do that which is wrong. You can read Romans 7 when he tell you that which I would not, and that which I would not, that I do. Meaning, the things that I don't want to do, that's what I end up doing. And the things that I want to do, I end up not being able to do them because of sin that dwells in me. So, in order to rise in the spirit, you need to bring down the flesh. That is the Day of Atonement. You bring down the flesh by taking away from the flesh that which it desires for its comfort. So, the Day of Unleavened Bread, you're used to that nice, soft bread. Yes? You get this tough bread to struggle with. And you do it for 7 days. It brings your flesh to a point where you now start denying the flesh, and now the spirit can rise. Yeah. That's how it is, and that is why you fast. When you fast, your body is brought down under subjection. And the body, now that it's so used to being satisfied, is being told, hey, behave yourself, keep yourself down. Not your time today. Oh, I'm not going to pay any attention to you today. You stay there and suffer. All right? Then that is where you rise in the spirit. That is why some things can only come through what? Prayer and fasting. Because the spirit, the flesh has to be brought low. So that's why you have to eat the bread of affliction to bring it down for a day. Because the Feast of Unleavened Bread is both physical and spiritual. You have the spiritual realm, the physical realm. Some call it the physical parallel, and they call it the spiritual to physical parallels. All right? That's it, the battle of the flesh and the spirit. And so the Feast of Unleavened Bread is physical and spiritual. Physical in that you eat unleavened bread, but spiritual, there are spiritual interpretations to it, which is what we are going to look at today. We are going to look at the meaning of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, and we start by looking at, hey, that thing is wrong. We're going to look at the meaning of leaven. The meaning of leaven. When we look at the meaning of leaven, we will see right off the bat that it is both spiritual and physical. All right? So leaven is a noun definition, a substance such as yeast used to produce fermentation in dough or a liquid. So this is the physical part of it. All right? A material such as baking powder used to produce a gas that lightens dough or butter. Same thing. But there's also the meaning of that, the general meaning, something that modifies or lightens. So when we speak about unleavened bread from a spiritual standpoint, we're speaking about something that modifies or lightens the word. Something that modifies the word. All right? And if you look at the verb, leaven, to raise something such as bread with a leaven. But there's also the spiritual part to it, which says to mingle or permeate with some modifying, alleviating, or vivifying element, especially to lighten. So to leaven is to change the word, add to the word, to modify the word. Okay?
Yeah.
So this is our quest as believers, to not add to nor subtract from the word. Because remember, we are warned that we should not add to the word or diminish from the word. Moses warned us, I think it's in Deuteronomy 12. Don't add nor diminish from the word. If you add to it, you will be adding leaven onto it. And so let's see the Messiah here telling us about warning his disciples, beware of the leaven of the Pharisees, to see the physical and the spiritual parallels together. And we go to Matthew 6, 5 to 12. Matthew 6, 5 to 12. Go ahead, please.
Matthew chapter 6, verse 5.
No, this doesn't look to be it. Matthew, where is it again? Matthew 16. Lo siento mucho. Matthew 16, 5. Read, please.
Verse 5, right?
Yeah.
And when his disciples were come to the other side, they had forgotten to take bread. Then Yahushua said unto them, take heed and beware of the leaven of the Pharisees and of the Sadducees.
All right. Take heed and beware of the leaven of the Pharisees and of the Sadducees. And the disciples could not pick it up, what he actually meant. So verse 7.
And they reasoned among themselves, saying, it is because we have taken no bread.
Yeah.
Which when Yahushua perceived, he said unto them, O ye of little faith, why reason ye among yourselves, because ye have brought no bread? Do ye not understand? Neither remember the 5 loaves of the 5,000, and how many baskets ye took up?
Do ye not yet understand? And how many baskets he took up? Yeah. Verse 10.
Neither the 7 loaves of the 4,000, and how many baskets ye took up?
Continue.
How is it that ye do not understand that I spake it not to you concerning bread, that ye should beware of the leaven of the Pharisees and of the Sadducees?
Verse 12.
Then understood they how that he bade them not beware of the leaven of the bread, but of the doctrine of the Pharisees and of the Sadducees.
All right. So the leaven is the doctrine of the Pharisees and the Sadducees. And the doctrine of the Pharisees and the Sadducees is that of the doctrine of the Pharisees and the Sadducees is that of adding on to the word. That is what the Pharisees and the Sadducees did. They added to the word. So if the Torah commandment said 39 stripes, they gave 40 stripes. If The command says, thou shalt keep the Shabbat day holy. They add the Sabbath from the Friday evening before. Even though the Shabbat, we're going to look at this. Shabbat starts in the morning. The Pharisees added to it, and the whole world follows it. Seventh-day Adventists swears by it, not knowing that they are in error, thinking that they are the beacon of truth. But as I always tell people, every single thing that you learned in Christianity is wrong. Everything is wrong. All right? So the Shabbat starts in the morning, and we're going to look at that and show proof for that. And of course, we have an article on justaword.org, a full article with all the precepts showing that the Shabbat begins in the morning, and we have other articles to show that the Shabbat ends in the evening, the 12-hour Shabbat that starts in the morning and ends in the evening. So whatever, everything they add to the word, that's the Pharisees. So that's what the Messiah was telling the disciples, beware of the additions of the Pharisees. Okay? And it was the same thing when, what was it? Was the Messiah, or was it disciples who healed a man who was carrying his bed? And they were saying, implying that it was unlawful for him to carry his bed on the Sabbath. And there was nothing in the Torah that said that or implied that. All right? That's what they add to the word. And they add to the word bringing burdens upon people. All right? So the Christians imply that the law was the burden that the Shabbats, the Pharisees followed. That's not it. They added to the law. Added to the law. That was the problem. The additions to the law. All right? So let's go to Torah now. Exodus 23:18. No sacrifice can be given unto Yahuwah with leaven. Exodus 23:18. What we want to show you the importance of not having anything with leaven. There's only one sacrifice that we can give with leaven, and that is at Pentecost. All other sacrifices, no leaven. You cannot offer up his sacrifice with leaven. Exodus 23:18. Read, please, bro. Shamuel.
Sorry, I was muted. I was reading, but I was muted. Thou shalt not offer the blood of my sacrifice. Sorry, let me start again. Thou shalt not offer the blood of my sacrifice with leavened bread, neither shall the fat of my sacrifice remain until the morning.
All right, what's the spiritual significance of this? Shamuel. Thou shalt not offer the blood of my sacrifice with leavened bread. This part we're dealing with.
It means let's not pollute his sacrifice.
Yeah, leaven means it's something that adds to it, that raises
adds
it up.
to it, yes. Yeah.
So he doesn't want anything artificial or anything added.
Yeah.
He just wants his word to be obeyed. Don't add anything to my word.
It must be, in other words, it must be spoken just as it is, the pure word of it, unadulterated truth.
Spoken and obeyed exactly as it was given. No religion. That's it. No religion nor denomination. Leviticus 2:11. Read, please.
No meat offering, which ye shall bring unto Yahuwah, shall be made with leaven. For ye shall burn no leaven, nor any honey, in any offering of Yahuwah made by fire.
What do you get from this? Same thing.
Yeah, don't add.
Yeah, no sacrifice, no offering with leaven. Now, any honey? What's the honey there for?
Sweetened, sugar-coated words. Sweet words of religion.
Don't add anything sweet to my words. Don't try to sweet up my words. Tell it exactly as it is and obey it exactly as it is. Leviticus 7:11-12. Go there, please.
Leviticus chapter 7, verse 11. And this is the law of the sacrifice of peace offerings, which he shall offer unto Yahweh.
Continue.
If he offer it for a thanksgiving, then he shall offer with the sacrifice of thanksgiving unleavened cakes mingled with oil, and unleavened waters anointed with oil, and cakes mingled with oil of fine flour fried.
Unleavened wafers. So all the offerings.
Or wafers, yeah.
Unleavened cakes. Nothing with leaven. So we have to present to him or come before him raw as is. And leaven takes many different shapes and forms. All right, we're just gonna look at a few of them before we're finished. All right, because this teaching will not. I don't think this teaching will be very long. Because I just want to make it short and impactful. Okay, so no sacrifice with leaven. Nothing added. Is unedited words. All right?
Yeah.
So we have bad leaven. And let's look at the bad leaven. Matthew 15, 1-20. Let's look at the bad leaven. Matthew 15, 1-20. All right, go ahead, please.
Matthew chapter 15, verse 1. Then came to Yahusha scribes and Pharisees, which were of Jerusalem, saying, Why do thy disciples transgress the tradition of the elders? For they wash not their hands when they eat bread.
All right, notice here. Scribes and the Pharisees. And they said, you transgress the tradition of the elders. They didn't say you transgress Torah. You transgress the tradition of the elders. For they wash not their hands when they eat bread. So this is the account that the Christians used to say, no, you can't eat anything. Verse 3.
Verse 3. But he answered and said unto them, Why do ye also strangers? Why do ye also transgress the commandment of Allah by your tradition?
Oh. So the Messiah is saying this tradition now is going to transgress the commandment of Allah. So they are talking about the tradition of man. The Messiah is talking about the Torah.
Yeah.
Verse 4.
For Allah commanded, saying, Honor thy father and mother, and he that curseth father or mother, let him die the death.
Continue.
But ye say, mother. All right. But ye say, whosoever shall say to his father or his mother, it is a gift, by whatsoever thou mightest be profited by me.
Uh-huh.
And honor not his father or his mother, he shall be free. Thus have ye made the commandment of Allah of none effect by your tradition.
All right. So this is why we're talking about leaven. They have added to the word. And how they have added to the word, they are saying that you have to honor your mother and your father. So you give to your mother and your father. But they what they have to give to their mother and father, they say to their mother and father, oh, what I had to give you was a gift. I gave it as a gift. So
Yeah.
what I would have given to you, I gave it away as a gift. So they nullify the commandment of honoring one's mother and one's father.
So in in other words, they put themselves there as more important than the practical ways of showing obedience. So the people should bypass doing helping people around them and bring their offerings directly to them.
But this is the same principle that you have in church. All right. In the new covenant, we are supposed to give as it is laid on our hearts. But Christianity has exacted tithes and offerings. And if the average Christian sees someone suffering, they're not going to go into their tithes and offerings to try to help that person.
Yeah.
Right, bro?
Yeah.
Also, Brother B, that could be looked on as trying to find excuse to be lawless because they're
Yeah.
trying to override what the scripture actually meant in their own way.
Yes. That's it. That's it essentially. And as we were speaking about the Feast of Unleavened Bread, why would they reject it? As Samuel had said, it, that they wanted an excuse to remain lawless. So it's a lawless spirit that is rebelling against all of this. Read from verse 5 and flow into verse 6, please.
Right. But ye say, whosoever shall say to his father or his mother, it is a gift, by whatsoever thou mightest be profited by me, and honor not his father or his mother, he shall be free. Thus have ye made the commandment of Alua of now, ye hypocrites. Must I go ahead?
No. Thus have ye made the commandment of Allah of none effect by your tradition. Yeah, continue with 7.
Ye hypocrites, well did Isaiah prophesy of you, saying, this people draweth near unto me with their mouth, and honoreth me with their lips, but their heart is far from me.
Continue.
But in vain do they worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men.
And this is very powerful, and this is often ignored. In vain they do worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men. So if you are teaching the commandments of men, your worship is in vain. If you're obeying Christmas and Easter and Ash Wednesday and Lent and church and all of those Christian traditions, the worship is in vain. Worshiping on Sunday, etc. Worship is in vain. What these people don't understand is that they are under a strong delusion, thinking that their worship is accepted. But in the end, they are going to find out when he says, I knew you not.
Depart from me.
Depart from me. So we have to ensure that we are on the right path. This is the importance of leaven, of understanding and feeling the leaven, the spiritual understanding of leaven. What is actually saying, don't add anything at all. Just what I tell you to do, just do it. Exactly. Don't try to impress me.
Even if it makes no sense. Just
even if it makes no sense. Whoa. Hold on. I thought. Oh, hold on. This person has not received the link. Let me see if I have. Oh. Janet. Janet, you can do it through this?
Yes.
No, I can't have the time. Can you send the link to Maria, please?
Okay.
You can't find her in the group. If you have any problem, you tell me.
Okay.
She says she hasn't received it. I don't know why.
Okay.
All right, she knows how to do it. All right, so where were we again? Oh, we were in this thing. In vain they do worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men. Anything that is of men. And that is why we obey the word and we do not obey religion. Anytime you obey religion, you're going to be left off because the Most High is not going to give you truth if you go off into loving a lie. If you go off into the traditions of men, the Most High is not going to give you truth. All right?
Yep.
Verse 10.
Verse 10. And he called the multitude and said unto them, hear and understand. Not that which goeth into the mouth defileth a man, but that which cometh out.
Shamuel.
Do I continue on?
Verse 11. I'm not hearing you. You're breaking up. Verse 11.
Not that which goeth into the mouth defileth a man, but that which cometh out of the mouth defileth a man.
This defileth a man, that which come out of the mouth. Now, this is what the Christians use to say that we can eat anything. That lawless spirit in them is just seeking out something to eat, that dirty, polluted pork and dirty shellfish, etc.
And the shrimps.
Yeah. Read on with verse 12. Let's just get the understanding of it.
All right. Then came his disciples and said unto him, knowest thou that the Pharisees were offended after they heard this saying? But he answered and said, every plant which my heavenly Father hath not planted shall be uprooted, or shall be rooted up. 14. Let them alone. They be blind leaders of the blind. And if the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into a ditch.
This is speaking about the religious people who have their own ways. You can put Christianity right here, because everything that is said about the Pharisees is the same thing with Christianity. Blind leaders of the blind, offended. Continue, verse 15.
Your truth, my truth.
Yeah.
Verse 15. Then answered Peter and said unto him, declare unto us this parable. 16. And Yahushua said, are ye also yet without understanding?
Stop there. Hear the question that the Messiah asked. Are ye also yet without understanding? And he's going to give the meaning. And yet still the Christians stick to the misunderstanding.
Yeah.
You see how much understanding they lack because they don't keep the commandments. Even when he tells them plainly that you are misunderstanding this, they still take the misunderstanding. Verse 17.
Verse 17. Do not ye yet understand that whatsoever entereth in at the mouth goeth into the belly, and is cast out into the drought?
Continue.
But those things which proceed out of the mouth come forth from the heart, and they defile the man.
All right. Whatsoever entereth in the mouth goeth into the belly, and is cast out into the jar. He is not saying that whatever polluted food goes into the mouth. They had what they considered to be food. Food was in Leviticus 11. Everything else was not classified as food. So when he's speaking about food, he's speaking about lawful things that we eat. Not unlawful things, not mess like pork, etc. All right? So, verse 18.
But those things which proceed out of the mouth come forth from the heart, and they defile the man.
For
out of the heart proceed evil thoughts, murders, adulteries, fornications, thefts, false witness, blasphemies.
All right. So what the Messiah was actually speaking about, he was speaking about the things, the state of the heart. Whatever come out of your mouth tells you what's in your heart. He was not speaking about food. His emphasis was not on dirty food. Verse 20.
Verse 20. These are the things which defile a man, but to eat with unwashed hands defileth not a man. Like very easy, very straightforward.
Very. That's what he was explaining. He was not explaining that you can eat any meat that you want to eat. He was using the food to illustrate about the washing of hands and that it is more important for you not to be defiled than to wash your hands. Simple. And the Christians usually say, oh, you can eat anything. Whatsoever into the mouth goeth into the belly and it's cast out into the jaws. That means that it does not pollute you. Oh, that's not what it means.
Yeah.
All right. Matthew 23, 1 to 15. Remember, we're looking at the danger of leaven, the hidden dangers of leaven. 23, 1.
Then spake Yahushua to the multitude and to his disciples. Verse 2, saying, the scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat.
Yeah.
All therefore, whatsoever they bid you observe, that observe and do, but do not ye after their works, for they say and do not.
All right. So they speak, talk a good talk, but do not walk the walk. So listen to them, but don't follow them, because they add leaven. Now let's see the leaven.
For they bind heavy burdens and grievous to be borne, and lay them on men's shoulders, but they themselves will not move them with one of their fingers.
All right. Okay, hold on. Let me just send this invitation. Let me just send this.
Marie is on, Brother Brian.
Oh, she's on. Okay,
Yes.
all right. All right, great. All right, shalom, Maria. Where were we now? For they bind heavy burdens and grievous to be borne, and lay them, yeah. Verse 25.
All their works they do for to be seen of men. They make broad their phylacteries and enlarge the borders of their garments.
All right, so they have their big fringes, larger than everybody else, just to be, they do everything to be seen of men. All right, so they actually represent most or many of the religious leaders that we have, want to be seen. All right. All right. Verse 26, verse 6.
All right, verse 6. And love the uppermost rooms of feast and the chief seats in the synagogues. It's the exact same thing happening today, bro.
Of course. Why do you think the churches are built with stages?
So they can be esteemed and put on a high pedestal to be seen
and exalted above the rest.
Yes.
When I was in the church, they have some people who never went on that stage. Are not worthy enough to go, it seems.
Oh yes, you're not worthy to go into. There's a room called the VIP room. All right, they put guest preachers there. Yeah, where when there's a visiting preacher, that is a room they give. It's a VIP. It's backstage, so he sits there in an air condition on some of the expensive couches.
Yeah.
Already whilst worship is going on in there, he's in the back there in the VIP room being served nice delectables.
Wow. Oh boy. Verse 7.
Verse 7. And greetings in the markets, and to be called of men, Rabbi, Rabbi.
Teacher, teacher.
But
Verse
be
8.
not ye called Rabbi, for one is your master, even Mashiach, and all ye are brethren.
So all the rest of us are brethren. That's why I said the head of the man is Messiah.
Yeah.
All are brethren.
But what about those who claim Messiah says he should be worshipped? Look at that. Look at what he says. But be not ye called rabbi, for one is your master.
Master, yes.
Even I, Messiah, literally, even Mashiach, and all ye are brethren. So there's only one master.
Yes. One master and all brethren. And one Alua.
Yeah.
Remember the Messiah said to the man, you have said right, for there is one Alua. Hear, O Israel, the greatest of all commandments.
Yeah.
And the Apostle Shaul says, for there is one Alua in Ephesians 4.
Yeah. No, it's the same thing, bro. That's what he's saying here. That is what he's saying in this. That's what Messiah is saying. Look at it. He says, for one is your master. Even me, myself, as the Messiah, there's only one master I have, right? And then the rest of all of you are brethren.
And then go down to 9.
And call no man your father upon the earth, for one is your father, which is in heaven.
You see that?
Yeah.
Plain and straight.
But yet you find people calling their pastors father, hey, father, papa.
And calling the Messiah, worshiping the Messiah as the Almighty.
As the Most High, yeah.
Yeah. Even though it makes the qualification several times. Verse 10.
Neither be ye called masters, for one is your master, even Mashiach.
Well, yeah. So if we call ourselves masters, we're gonna be like, we're transgressing because we're taking away the Messiah's thing. So the Catholics call themselves what? Vicar of Christ.
Eish.
Ah.
The vicar himself.
Yeah. Verse 11.
All right, verse 11. But he that is greatest among you shall be your servant.
See, we're talking about leaven. Take away the leaven.
Yeah.
The leaven of pride, and we're going to look at the leaven of pride too.
All right.
Verse 12.
Verse 12. And whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased, and he that shall humble himself shall be exalted.
Exactly. Humble yourself. Take away the leaven. Verse 13.
Verse 13. But woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye shut up the kingdom of heaven against men. For ye neither go in yourselves, neither suffer ye them that are entering to go in.
All right, and this is the same thing. Again, we tell you that everything you say about the scribes and Pharisees is the same thing that tends for Christianity. They shut up the kingdom against people with the false doctrine. That's why you have to come out of Christianity or churchianity. You have to come out. Because your religion is going to shut you up against the kingdom, because they're going to cause you to transgress against the Most High. They neither go in themselves, neither suffer those that are entering to go in. When you have people coming to Christianity, people come to Christianity with a repentant heart. They really want to serve, but by the time they get in there, they pollute them with the false doctrine, and that person that went in zealous to serve is now comfortable walking in lawlessness. And when that person gets trapped in lawlessness, whoa, hard it is for that person to come out. Hey. Verse 14.
Verse 14. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye devour widows' houses, and for a sorry, bro, I had to laugh.
Christianity, right?
Yeah. For ye devour widows' houses, and for a pretense make long prayer. Therefore ye shall receive the greater damnation. Oh my word. Yeah.
Tell us what you see there, Shamuel.
No, that's just how they take advantage. And it's exactly the same thing also said in Timothy. All right. They break into houses and they get vulnerable women to they use them and they mislead them. And they come in the guise of, I am the shepherd and you are the sheep, and I've come to pray for you. And they use the tongues, all those things, those gimmicks,
yeah,
to cause this whole fake holiness that makes the sheep very vulnerable and think, oh, Alua is here, but it's all false. It's all false. It
Yeah, and
says
then
they shall receive damnation, the greater damnation.
and they devour widows' houses. Through their tithes and offering system, they coerce people out of everything that they have.
Yeah.
Verse 15.
Verse 15, woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye compass sea and land to make one proselyte. And when he is made, ye make him twofold more the child of hell than yourselves.
That's the same thing I just said. When you go bring people into Christianity, let us become comfortable with the lawlessness, and you can't get them out.
Isn't it why we say wherever there's church, there's lawlessness? All the communities that have churches are extremely lawless.
Yes. Jamaica has more churches per square mile than any other country in the world. And
For real?
Yes, it's in the Guinness Book of World Records.
Oh, I thought Ghana held that record. Okay.
No, but remember that we are related.
Yeah.
It's in the Guinness Book. So Ghana can claim it because it's actually recorded officially.
It's recorded there.
Yeah. And we are the murder capital of the world. One of the highest murders, per capita in the world.
Wow.
In the African-American, so-called African-American communities in United States. They have a very high concentration of churches as well. And their murder rate, you know how it is with our people over there as well. Go ahead.
And so it says, that's the interesting part, says that they make their sheep much more wicked and reckless and more lawless than they are.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
From the wicked goeth forth wickedness. Yeah.
Wickedness, yes.
All right, but the good thing about it is that there is also good leaven. We just look at bad leaven. There is also good leaven. Good leaven. And we should have saved this for last. But let's talk about bad. We have to speak about good. Matthew 13:33. Now look at a few verses to put it together. Matthew 13:33. Read, please.
Matthew chapter 13, verse 33. Another parable spake he unto them. The kingdom of heaven is like unto leaven, which a woman took and hid in 3 measures of meal till the whole was leavened.
Where you get from this, Samuel? Or Wayne?
So the kingdom of heaven is what is like unto leaven. So the kingdom of heaven is 100% true, pure, holy, right? And which you can hit 3 measures of meal till the whole was leavened. And pretty much all those that associate themselves with it are all made the same way, the same whole. They are multiplied in terms of the terms of how lawful they become in character and everything, holiness.
No, I don't. Not quite sure if this. Here it is. King of heaven is like unto leaven, which a woman took and hid in 3 measures of meal till the whole was filled up. When you put the leaven in there, the leaven fills it up. Okay?
Yeah.
So what this is actually saying, we're going to look at some precepts along.
All right.
Was it in 2nd Baruch? We read that the world to come was made for a few.
Yeah.
A remnant will enter the kingdom, and that remnant will be multiplied in the kingdom. So it's a remnant of righteousness that will be multiplied. You have a multiplication factor of righteousness. So righteousness will be multiplied. So that small remnant will be in the kingdom, and then the remnant is going to multiply in the kingdom and fill the kingdom with righteousness.
Oh, yeah.
So let's look at a couple. Matthew 7:13 to 14.
So,
Read,
Brother B,
please.
while I go in there,
Yeah.
I'm wondering if that's what they use sometimes by saying, yes, multiply and replenish, like it is actually now, you know, to go around and have all those babies now, what they're talking about. Yeah. God say multiply and replenish.
Yeah, the time has
But-
not yet come for that.
Wow.
For the
But-
righteousness, to do it in righteousness.
But God's multiplication has to do with man showing that, just man showing his dominion, literally, because pastors create pastors after their own heart, and they send them to establish branches for themselves, not for the Most High.
Yeah.
So they are multiplying not even for their God, but for themselves.
Yep. Read verse 13, please.
Enter ye into the straight gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. Because straight is the gate, and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it.
All right. Few there be that find it. So it's very few will actually enter the kingdom. Romans 9:27 to 29.
So few that find it doesn't mean, is it why the woman hid the leaven?
Because yeah, that's a very good question. Let me go and look at it. In 3 measures of meal.
Yes.
So it's a small remnant in a big lot, but the measures of meal, the measure of meal would refer to the kingdom.
Yeah. So the Most High has, just as what is happening now, he's hidden his word, and only they who truly desire and sought after him and seek and dig are the ones that find, and when they find, they are full, they are made full.
Yeah.
So I was just trying to relate the two passages. The woman
Yeah.
hiding.
Yeah, it's the same. And he says, if you seek me, you shall find me if you search for me with all your heart.
Yeah.
So few there be that find it. And then we go to Romans 9:27. It says, speaking about a remnant shall return. Verse 27.
Isaiah also crieth concerning Israel. Though the number of the children of Israel be as the sand of the sea, a remnant shall be saved. For he will finish the work and cut it short in righteousness, because a short work will Yahuwah make upon the earth.
Short work. These end times. As we keep repeating that the beast does not have any long time with this mark of the beast, vax thing.
Yeah.
Short work. Verse 29.
And as Isaiah said before, except Yahuwah of Sabaoth had left us a seed, we had been as Sodom and been made like unto Gomorrah.
All right. Unless Yahuwah Sabaoth had left us a seed, a remnant. It's a remnant that is going to inherit the kingdom, people. Jeremiah 30:18 to 20. It's telling us about the inheritance in the kingdom. Read it, please.
Thus saith Yahuwah, behold, I will bring again the captivity of Jacob's tents, and have mercy on his dwelling places. And the city shall be builded upon her own heap, and the place shall remain after the manner thereof.
The palace shall remain after the manner thereof. This is the end time that is speaking about, when we are gathered finally. And here's going to tell us, this is a little leaven. Let's see what's going to go in happen to the leaven. Verse 19.
Verse 19. And out of them shall proceed thanksgiving, and the voice of them that make merry. And I will multiply them, and they shall not be few. I will also
I will do
glorify
what?
them.
I will do what?
I will multiply them.
Yes, the righteous remnant that remains in the end will be rapidly multiplied. That is the leaven. And that leaven now will not be unrighteous leaven. It will be a righteous leaven that is going to leaven the whole lump, leaven the kingdom and multiply the kingdom in righteousness.
Yeah.
Continue. And I will multiply them.
And I will multiply them, and they shall not be few. I will also glorify them, and they shall not be small.
Their children.
Their children also shall be as aforetime, and their congregation shall be established before me, and I will punish all that oppress them.
All right. So that is the leaven. That is the righteous leaven. So we just want to establish that. Good and the bad leaven. All right? But we have to also establish that all sin is leaven. 1 Corinthians 5:6-8, all sin is leaven. And why all sin is leaven? Because all sin adds to or subtracts from the word. 1 Corinthians 5:6-8. Read, please.
1 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 6. Your glorying is not good. Know ye not that a little leaven leaveneth the whole lump?
All right, stop there. This is a very, 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 very important verse. Naturally, in the natural realm, when you want to add leaven to bread, the amount of leaven that you add is relatively small compared to the volume of the dough that you have.
Yeah.
A little leaven leavens the whole lump. It is the same thing with sin. One little sin is the beginning of creation of a monster of sin. Right?
Yeah.
That's how it is.
It starts with a thought.
And this is how it is with the truth. If you reject an itty bitty, pinchy little piece of truth, then you are going to be blocked from other truths. That's how the Most High is. He says, no one shall enter his kingdom who loveth or maketh a lie. The Most High gives you a truth. You accept that truth, it moves from truth to truth. That is why it is dangerous, not even dangerous, it is madness to be in religion. Because as I was telling someone the other day, religion assumes an end and picks out verses to justify that end. When you follow the way, you do not assume an end. What you do, you let the Holy Spirit and the Word, through the Word, lead you to that end. So you will get far more understanding than those who assume an end. Because those who assume an end assume that they know and that they have reached and that they have understanding and that they will have no capacity to learn. Okay?
You are saying something very important, Brother Brian.
Yeah.
That is what I always get. That's what I always get when I engage with religious people. You know, brother, I don't want to go past this. You know, it's this knowledge. You know, there are certain knowledges like the tree of life in the garden. You know, you don't want to open up into certain ideas and then you are lost throughout. So I want to keep to what I know now, and that is all I want to do. That's what I always hear from many Christians when you engage with them.
I'm a Christian, and I believe this and I believe that. It's madness. That is suicide. That is spiritual suicide. The word says, prove all things, hold fast that which is good. So everything that comes to you, you have to prove it. And what ends up being good, you hold on to it and reject that which is not good. Yeah.
So You don't just receive everything and anything. You need to sift them. You need to sift.
Yes.
You need to prove it.
Yes.
Right? So that it can be sanctified for your edification.
Yep. It says, purge out therefore, continue verse 7.
Purge out therefore all the old leaven, that ye may be a new lamp, as ye are unleavened, for even Mashiach our Passover is sacrificed for us.
All right. And this is getting rid of the old man. All right. Getting rid of the old man. Because we can do all things through Messiah, Yahusha. All right. So Shaul here, another thing. The Christians believe that these feasts were done away with. Shaul here was speaking about the feast of unleavened bread, and he was telling them, let us keep the feast. Which feast was he speaking about, Shamuel?
The Passover, the set apart feast of Yahuwah.
The feast of unleavened bread.
Yeah.
Because he went in verse 8, and what did he say? Therefore, let us do what?
Let us purge out the old leaven, that ye may be a new lamp, as ye are unleavened. For even Mashiach our Passover is sacrificed for us.
Continue verse 8.
Therefore, let us keep the feast.
Let us do what?
Let us keep the feast.
Oh, I thought the feasts were done away with.
By Paul, that's what they say. And it's the same Paul talking.
Yeah. Continue.
Therefore, let us keep the feast, not with old leaven, neither with the leaven of malice and wickedness, but with the unleavened bread of sincerity and truth.
All right. What the Apostle Shaul was speaking about was that you have to now change, you have to purge out those things that were before you. This is the whole bottom line of what we are saying today. The spiritual understanding of the Feast of Unleavened Bread is to purge out everything that affects us. All right? Everything, every sinful nature that we have, everything that goes against us. Let us purge it out. So I was just explaining the spiritual manifestation, spiritual understanding of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Yeah?
Yep.
So the Feast of Unleavened Bread essentially is about denying self. Read, please. Let him deny himself and Matthew 16:24.
Then said Yahusha unto his disciples, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me.
All right, take up his stake and follow me. This is what it's actually about, denying self, denying our desires, denying everything that we once loved. Close the bottom part of the window. Oh, I hope you're hearing the noise from outside, Shamal?
No.
Okay, good. All right. So, unleavened bread is actually about denying self. Never get it twisted. So what we're going to do, we're going to end now. No, we're not going to end. We're going to look at manifestations of leaven. We're going to look at manifestations of leaven, different manifestations of leaven. And there are many, but we're going to look at a few. The leaven of religion. All right. And the first religion, we're going to look at Judaism. Okay. We're just going to give examples of leaven so we get an idea of what leaven is. Judaism, that religion that those Jewish people follow. All right. That religion is leaven. They inherited it from the Pharisees. The Jewish people, they were converts to the religion of Judaism in the 8th century. And the version of Judaism that they got was from the Pharisees. So they inherited the teachings of the Pharisees, the same Pharisees that the Messiah had several bouts of contacts with. Now, their book, chief book, is not actually the Torah. The chief book of most of them is not the Torah. It is called the Talmud. The Talmud is a collection of years upon years of oral traditions. Oral traditions. Remember, they were arguing with the Messiah and said the traditions, why the disciples transgressed the traditions of the elders. They collected the traditions in a book called the Talmud over time. And that is what guides them. So, their basis for depending on the Talmud, they are saying that when Moses went up into Sinai, he went up with 70 elders. And that Moses was not the only one who got revelations from the Most High. They said that the 70 elders also had it, but they were not told to write it down. So they came down with it as traditions from the mount, and they wrote it down. After that, they passed it down, and then eventually over time, they wrote it down. And they keep adding over time the different traditions. So what you have now, some crazy, weird traditions in that book, but that's what guides this religion. All right? So from moving away from the word, collecting the traditions over time, it has morphed and has become nothing but the traditions of man. That's Judaism.
That sounds more like confusion, because it's like the same Bible says Allah is not the author of confusion. So 70 people on a hill, all coming back with different ideas, which is not in agreement, because somehow the Talmud contradicts the Torah itself. With everyone interpreting it, it's left to interpretation. What revelation did you get, brother? Then you share, then we write it down, then you share yours, then we write it down, and then we try and practice all of them together. The same thing happening with Christianity, with all the different denominations. You have Anglican talking about their own doctrines. The pastor got his own revelations. You have another denomination with the pastor also receiving a different thing. That all contradicts, because it does not bring harmony, right? Yes. So then how does that make the Most High the author of not the author of confusion?
Yep. And so we look at the leaven of religion, Christianity, the religion of the beast. Christianity has so much leaven in it, I don't even know where to start. Everything about that religion is wrong. Everything they teach is wrong. Starting with this fellow right here. This Caucasian fellow, I don't know who he is. Cesare Borgia original. All right. Of course, he's a goat. Notice how his beard is always shaped like a goat's paw. And his hand is just like that of Baphomet. And he has a big cross in his chest. And his hand up and one down. All of this is not by chance. Everything is by design. All right. This is the son of Lucifer right here. All right. The leaven, the Messiah, was a black man. Revelation 1:14-15 tells you the Messiah was black. Europeans came and gave us this leaven, added to it. And with that leaven, they gave us a religion full of leaven. Sabbath, they say, oh, no, Sabbath has changed. Leaven. Remember, we were told that we must not offer his sacrifice with leaven.
Yep.
So we must stick to the original unadulterated word. That's it. So Christianity is leaven. So at the Feast of Unleavened Bread, anybody who's in this religion needs to follow what the instructions that the Bible has given us and come out of her, my people. All right, you're worshiping an idol. Okay, so that's the leaven of Christianity. Then now, I want to go into away from religion and go into, because this is what we want. Why we're doing this, we want people to be aware of things that they need to get out of their lives, purge out of our lives. All right.
Yep.
In this feast of unleavened bread, we should be striving to see everything that is missing, everything that is short, everything that is deficient, and try to make amends, try to make corrections, because we are purging and cleansing so that we can be found worthy. These feasts are mercifully given to us by the Most High in order to keep us in line and ready to enter his kingdom. All right, so the next level we're going to look at is makeup. Makeup. This is for the woman. This is for the woman.
Adorning.
Even and when you're in the truth, you cannot get rid of this thing. All right?
Yeah.
Whether heavy or light or strange, yeah? You all can't get rid of doing something to your eyebrow, doing something to your eyelash, putting colors here, putting colors there, redding up your lips, your lips, all of those things.
Shaving of the eyebrow.
Yeah, then we're gonna go. Let's go to that. Let's go to that. Where am I? Okay. The book of Enoch, the leaven of makeup. Read, please, bro.
The leaven of makeup. And Azazel taught men to make swords and daggers and shields and breastplates. And he showed them the things after these, and the art of making them, bracelets and ornaments, and the art of making up the eyes, and of beautifying the eyelids, and the most precious stones, and all kinds of colored dyes. And the world was changed.
Verse 2.
And there was great impiety and much fornication, and they went astray, and all their ways became corrupt.
So because of these things that Azazel did, the whole entire mankind became corrupt.
Yep.
He showed them the art of makeup, making up the eyes, and of beautifying the eyelids, and the bracelets, and the ornaments, and precious stones of all kinds, and colorful dyes. All right?
Clothing, material.
Yeah. So we just want to show people that this is coming from nowhere good. Nowhere good at all. So this is one leaven we should try to get out of our lives. This is coming from the fallen ones, the fallen angels. All right?
Right.
There's also the leaven of clothing as well. Because some women feel they have to wear what men wear.
Yep.
That woman is totally defeated. The Bible tells you clearly, woman shall not wear that which pertaineth to a man. Woman still determined. Oh boy, who will have mercy upon your souls. Because he's not gonna play.
So in other words, it goes back to the Exodus passages that we read, which it says, we shall not sweeten his natural things, we shall not add on. He wants it to be exactly how he created you, how he made you. So anyone that is adding any extras and any additions, remember, I think Peter or one of the apostles also mentioned that how to adorn, because these things do not lead us to holiness.
Yep.
Right? It leads to a whole lot of impiety, fornications. That's
Yep.
why there's a whole lot of sexual what do you call it? All the world is filled with all the ideas of just everything sex. Everything is perverted because
Yep.
these things exaggerate beauty. It gives false beauty.
Yes.
Right? That's what it is. All right.
And I like how you said that, false beauty. That's a very important thing to understand. False beauty. Because that is not how you look naturally. And if you give false beauty, that means you are telling a lie.
Mm.
It's very important to know.
It's another word for it is called manipulation. All right.
Yeah.
You are seducing people, you are manipulating people.
And as I was saying, it's very important that you are actually telling a lie. Revelation 22, 14 to 15. Read, please.
Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life and may enter in through the gates into the city.
Continue.
For without are dogs and sorcerers and whoremongers and murderers and idolaters, and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie.
Whosoever loveth and do what?
Maketh a lie.
So when you
Anyone
put on false beauty, bro, what do?
You are telling a lie. You are disguising yourself from what you really are.
No, you're not telling a lie. You are making. Remember, it's called make up.
Oh, yes. 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 Makeup. Yes.
You're making up a lie.
Mm.
And he say you can't enter the kingdom. So people take these things lightly.
Yeah.
They have no idea our Father who we have to face.
Mm.
It's serious, yeah?
This is it's serious and it's very scary, and it's a good thing to fear Yahuwah, because they that fear him will do what he says must be done.
And
right?
don't add to it.
And don't take away.
And don't diminish from it. And that is a level now, adding to it. Because the level of makeup, you're adding makeup to you. That's not how you look.
Yeah.
That's not how the Most High made you. Because what you're actually saying, and the reason it is so serious, what you're actually saying is, hey, Father, how you made me, that's not how I want to look. I'm not satisfied. This is how I want to look. And let me show you now how I want to look. And they go and they make up to how they want to look, and then they strut proudly out.
Yeah.
Adding on here, that's another thing. Adding on falls here. All right? That is a lie. That is making a lie. That's not how you look. That's not you. That's how you want to look.
Yeah.
That's how you want to look, or how you feel comfortable looking. But that's not how you look. That's a lie. That's a lie.
Mm.
You're making a lie.
And what you're saying, I mean, it's true. If anyone wants to argue, you can just put this experiment by yourself. All right. That every time we adorn ourselves like that, check, there's this egotistical thing, that personality that comes.
Yes.
All right. It's almost like a spirit takes over.
Yes.
And the world terms it as confidence. All right.
Yes.
Fearless. There is nothing like that. That's absolutely shameful before the Most High, because that is false. That is not who you are. If you cannot be bold and confident in Him, and I think that's what Shaul meant by, in Him we have our what? In Him I live and move and have my being. So in Him we should have, in our natural state, the way we are made is how we're supposed to articulate ourselves. We're supposed to have confidence. Yes. So it is a serious issue, brother.
Yep. All right, and this now mainly for the woman, but here's one for all of us now, and one in which I dare say all of us are guilty, and all of us have to seek to get rid of this leaven, the leaven of Pride.
Yes.
Leaven of pride. Pride comes from the Hebrew room. There are several meanings of pride, but the one that I think brings out the meaning most of best of all is H7311, which is room. A primitive root to be high actively, to rise or raise. So this is why we're speaking about leaven. Leaven means to rise up, right? Anything that you add that rises you up.
Yeah.
So when it comes to pride and our look in public, there are certain things that lets us, both male and female, rise up. All right, to be high actively or to rise or raise in various applications, literally or figuratively, bring up, exalt self, extol, give, go up, haughty, heave up, be lift upon, make on, set upon, too high, hold up, levy, lift, be lofty, loud, mount up. In other words, it actually speaks of leaven, pushing up ourselves. And there are different things that elevate us. Clothing, that's one. Put on our clothes, as Brother Shamuel in that picture embarrassed himself smartly and not knowing it in that picture with that Rolex watch. Having that Rolex watch with his hands up in his picture, showing off his Rolex watch. Not realizing that as a believer, he's embarrassing himself.
Very, very embarrassing. It was an embarrassing situation. Very
But you had it
embarrassing.
for a long time, so I guess you weren't that embarrassed, were you?
No, I was ignorant because my mind wasn't there.
All right. Yeah. So that's the pride, lifting up ourselves. I notice this girl here. The pride in a woman is her hair. Here is the pride and the nails. Notice the nails, showing off the nails and the hair. All right.
Yeah.
And the man here with his hand to his chin, and it's a proud look. The proud look. All right.
Yeah.
And one of the things we need to desist as believers is to desist from taking too many images, many photographs. All right.
Yeah.
That's where the pride is struck. So we're going to look at verses to show the danger of the leaven of pride, because this is one of the most dangerous leavens, the leaven of pride, because it comes into everything. Even the makeup that we're talking about, it's the pride that causes it, right?
Yeah.
Most things, it's pride. That's his heart and soul of it. So,
Yeah.
excuse me, let's look at Tehillim 1:11-21. We got to look at the danger of pride and why we all need to get rid of pride. 119, we all need to get rid of pride this feast of unleavened bread. Read, please.
Psalm 119, verse 21. Thou hast rebuked the proud that are cursed, which do err from thy commandments.
The proud that are
Cursed.
You see that? And their hallmark is that they err from his commandments.
From the commandments, yeah.
All right. So these are they who were keeping his commandments, but err from the commandments because of their pride. See that, bro?
Yep.
Ah.
Anyway, so it's easier if you follow the commandments. You don't err from all of these things. You know, you don't fall prey or victim to these temptations.
All right. Tehillim 138, verse 6. Read, please.
Psalm 138, verse 6. Though Yahweh be high, yet hath he respect unto the lowly, but the proud he knoweth afar off.
Whoa. He has respect to the humble, those who are willing to bring themselves low. But those who have leaven, the leaven of pride, he keeps them from afar. He know it afar off. He keeps his distance from the proud man. Right, bro?
Yep, very far.
Proverbs 16:5. Read, please.
Everyone that is proud in heart is an abomination to Yahuwah.
Oh. You see how serious this leaven is?
It's a big leaven. Proud.
Everyone that is proud in heart is an abomination to Yahuwah. And hear this, hear the other part.
Though hand join in hand, he shall not be unpunished.
You're going to get whooped for your pride. That's what it's saying. Proverbs 21:4. Serious. It's a serious level that you need to concentrate on. People. Verse 4.
Verse 4. And high look a proud heart, and the plowing of the wicked is sin.
A high look and a proud heart and the plowing of the wicked is sin. Proverbs 28:4. No. Let me get it. Proverbs 28:25. Read, please.
He that is of a proud heart stirreth up strife, but he that putteth his trust in Yahuwah shall be made fat.
Ah. Proud heart stirs up strife.
Oh, so strife comes from pride.
Yes. Because if you're humble, when strife comes, you're going to back down. Or you might strive for a while, and then when you realize, you will ease off. When you realize that it's getting nowhere, you'll ease off. Ecclesiastes 7:8. Read, please.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 8. Better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof, and the patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit.
All right. Another one. Yeshayahu 2:12. Isaiah 2:12. Go ahead, please.
For the day of Yahuwah of hosts shall be upon every one that is proud and lofty, and upon every one that is lifted up, and he shall be brought low.
And we know that the day of Yahuwah is what we're looking to in this end time. People, we have to get rid of this level. The day of Yahuwah, that is what is coming upon the heathen in the end. And he says it shall be upon everyone that is proud and lofty, and upon everyone that is lifted up, and he shall be brought low. You see that, bro?
Yeah, bro, if you know, as I'm reading it and I'm thinking about it, I am seeing that there is a fine line these days between being able to understand how pride manifests and what is pride in our current ongoing life.
Yeah.
Because many people misunderstand what pride is.
Yeah.
All right. So I just want to give a quick example. Say, what you call it? Say you're conversing with somebody, all right, and all they doing is just arguing and arguing and arguing and not even stopping for a second to listen to you. All right. Should you back down and not want to explain any further and go ahead because you realize you are not making any progress and it's a fool you are dealing with? Now, that person or those people around you might deem it that you are prideful, right? So they can use that as an accusation against you. There is no point in time that can be pride. That's not pride, all right?
Mhm.
That is not pride. Not wanting to contest with fools or argue with people who don't want to see reason is not pride. So when someone also says to you, hey, what you're doing is wrong, all right, and then they say back to you, but how can you tell me that what I'm doing is wrong? What makes you, better off, and so there's many ways people conflict the idea of what pride is. So,
Yeah.
bro, that's why I was saying this, that it's important to get clarity on it.
Yeah, knowing when not to speak is wisdom. That's not pride.
Yeah.
Yeah, pride would keep you in an argument that is not progressive, but
Yep.
you just want to win and you just want to turn out not losing, not to be seen as a loser. So you would
Yeah.
stay in there and keep battling. So it would be a humble person who will get out of a battle. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. For example, like last night, this Hebrew Israelite, these Hebrew Israelite, this Hebrew Israelite contacted me about the mark of the beast because I had posted a response on a website, on a Facebook page. So the first person started with pride. I am an Israelite. I am from the IUIC camp. And then he started talking down to me as if I am a total idiot, like all of them do. They think that because they follow that particular religion, as I call it religion,
Yeah.
no different from Christianity. They think because they follow that
Yeah.
religion, then everyone else is dumb and they know it all.
Yeah.
So he asked me what I thought. I give him precepts to show. So I just sent him one of the videos, one of the short videos. And he was there wanting to argue with me, prove to me that this and prove to me that. I said, bro, I don't have anything to prove. I don't have to prove anything. Watch the video if you want to continue after the video. That's it. And he was like, why are you running? Why are you running? And this is one of the things that they do. The Hebrew Israelites, whenever you don't want to converse with them, they go to Proverbs 28, verse 1 and say, are the wicked fleeing when no one pursues? I tell you those people, that religion, I'm telling you, it's getting very close, almost as disgusting as Christianity. Trust me. So you cannot wisely say, okay, bro, that's it. Okay, I'm out. They say you're running, and then they say, oh, the wicked flee when no one pursue it. Oh boy. All right.
There's a question though, bro, quickly.
Yeah.
There's a says, what about those women that have grown facial hairs? Should they allow it to grow or should they shave it off?
Should they shave it off? All right. What would I say? I'm trying to juggle all of the Torah that I know. That I don't know. I'll have to answer that another time. All right. I don't want to answer that impromptu without putting everything together, thinking about every little thing. And I am so intent and focused in this. I don't want to deviate and go into others.
Yeah. All right. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
We can do that on the third day.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Where are we again? See what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, you were rounding up on pride.
5. Yeah, we're just doing the last one about pride. One Peter 5:5. Go ahead. Not so long.
1 Peter 5, verse 5. Likewise, ye younger, submit yourself unto the elder. Yea, all of you be subject one to another, and be clothed with humility. For Allah resisteth the proud and giveth grace to the humble.
All right. He resisteth the proud and giveth favor to the humble. He resists the proud. That's why it's important to be humble. Pride. Pride. We need to get rid of pride. All right. There are also other levels that affect us as well. I just gave some that came to my mind. And many of them, some of the other levels, level of food.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Food in terms of processed foods. Processed foods, not good for us. All right. In these end times, we should be taking our focus off processed foods, weaning ourselves off these processed foods. And why is that? Because let's not get it twisted, a time of trouble is obviously coming for us.
Yeah.
Because we know they're going to make this thing mandatory. And so the luxurious lives that we once lived, unless we want to bow, we will not be able to live those luxurious lives. So luxurious lives based on living in these supermarket places, buying all of this garbage. All right?
Yeah.
That's not going to be there with us. So we have to wean ourselves from these artificial foods, these processed foods. All right?
Yep.
Another 11 is GMO foods. If we can afford it, try to go away from GMO food because a lot of these things make us sick. Everything we are saying here, 3 things here making us sick. Another 11 of food again is greed, gluttony.
Gluttony, yeah.
Yeah?
Yep.
Greedy eating. We have to learn to cut our eating because don't get it twisted. Time of trouble, time of Jacob's trouble is coming. And if we do not train ourselves from now, when it comes, it will be a shock to our system. Yeah?
Yep.
The best person who is prepared for these end times to resist are those people who sometimes have only 1 meal to eat per day. Sometimes can go the whole day without eating. All right? And those who are used to fasting. Because when you're used to fasting, then you will learn to go through tough times without food. Now, fasting purges you, takes away the leaven, purges you from crave for food, and also brings back your health. But not only that, it brings the flesh under subjection so that you can rise in the spirit. So those of us who are not fasting, we have to think about fasting at least 1 day a week. All right. And in this time, some of us should be upping up to more than 1 day a week sometimes. Because we have to get ready and prepared for the time when we will not have it like these, like how we used to have it, to just be able to go and eat and buy whenever we want. All right?
Yeah.
So we have to concentrate on the level of food. The other level, the level of materialism. The tendency to consume and to buy stuff. Yeah? We have been schooled in Babylon to buy stuff to satisfy our flesh. So we buy this month, and when we get paid, we buy again next month, and we buy things that we actually don't really need. So we have to concentrate on the level of materialism. Yeah?
Yeah. What you
Another
don't
level.
need.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm saying, yeah, it's true. What you don't need, you don't get. As simple as that.
Another level, danger of riches. Matthew 19:16-24. Read, please.
Matthew chapter 19, verse 16. And behold, one came and said unto him, Good master, what good thing shall I do that I may have eternal life? Verse
Continue.
17. And he said unto him, why callest thou me good? There is none good but one, that is Allah. But if thou would enter into life, keep the commandments.
Uh-huh. So if you want eternal life, keep the commandments.
Yeah.
And what the Christians say, no commandments.
Yep. And this is the Messiah speaking, in case someone was
Yeah.
wondering.
Yes. Verse 18.
Verse 18. He saith unto him, which Yahusha said, thou shalt do no murder, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness. 19. Honor thy father and thy mother, and thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
Verse 19.
Verse 19.
Verse 20, sorry.
So verse 20. The young man saith unto him, all these things have I kept from my youth up. What lack I yet?
All right. So we're seeing here, what we're seeing here is that keeping the commandments is not all there is. Keeping the commandments out of a transformed heart, which is what is important. He did all of these, but yet still he knew that he lacked something because he felt that he was doing it as a routine.
Yeah.
Felt that something was lacking. And verse 21, what did Messiah say he lacked?
Yahusha said unto him, if thou wilt be perfect, go and sell that thou hast, and give to the poor, and thou shalt have treasure in heaven, and come and follow me.
All right.
This is very scary when you say it to a Christian, eh?
Yep. Yep.
Your inheritance is in heaven, huh? What about earth? We are here on earth.
Yes, that's what they're gonna say. We are in earth now, so we have to enjoy what is on earth. Verse 22.
But when the young man heard that saying, he went away sorrowful, for he had great possessions.
All right, he had great leaven, much leaven. Right? Because we can only survive on so much and no more.
Yeah.
Verse 23.
Then said Yahusha unto his disciples, verily I say unto you, that a rich man shall hardly enter into the kingdom of heaven.
Verse 24.
And again I say unto you, it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of Allah.
All right. So those who are seeking riches, stop it.
And in religion, they have made people, rich people, believe that this is a figure of speech. It's not literal. And it's a very dangerous doctrine. Yes, they say the eye of a needle is a gate in Israel. All right. So it is not, doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that being rich will take you to your distraction. So the understanding about this is what hasn't been understood by religion, by Christianity.
Another thing, can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Another thing, what comes into mind with this is in Christianity, actually, they
Pedro,
push,
you sound low. You sound low.
Let me see. What about now?
Still low.
Well,
check your volume. Check the volume up on the laptop.
It's actually high.
Is it?
It's actually, yeah, it is high.
All right, go ahead. We'll make do.
I was saying that in Christian world, they actually want you to be rich, because the richer you are, the better for them, because your tithing, your offerings are much better. This is actually very, very scary, because this is what they preach, that you have to be rich. Your God is the owner of gold, of silver, and everything. So you cannot be poor. So in other words, they're preparing you to move away from the present, because once you are rich, I tell you, once you're rich, you don't even sleep because you're afraid that somebody's going to come and
It's gonna steal. Yes.
Yes.
So you're not at peace with yourself. So
Yeah.
this is what they preach, because they want people to give better monies so that the pastors can actually thrive. This
So
is where
so they encourage you to get rich. So
exactly.
just for their selfish reasons, not because
Exactly. Now, again, another issue, selling your possessions. You know, people who are rich, they become very much attached to their positions.
Yes.
The positions are like, their livelihood. So it becomes very hard. The person who can afford anything, anytime, then suddenly he sees himself with nothing. I mean, that's very scary. But once we have our lives focused on the promise of eternal life, that's all that matters.
Mm-hmm.
Brother
Yep.
Pedro,
Yeah, Brother Wayne.
how are you? That which I've just said, there are so many people who are believing that even today. Brother B, if you could find for us Proverbs 23, verse 4 and 5. And this is what the scripture is saying. So when we listen to what they are saying and what the scripture is saying, it is now up to us. What do we believe? Proverbs 23, 23, verse 4 and 5.
Oh. Yeah, go ahead, Shamuel.
labor not to be rich, cease from thine own wisdom.
5.
5, Shamuel.
For riches certainly make themselves wings. They fly away as an eagle toward heaven.
No. Verse 5 says, wilt thou set thine eyes upon that which is not?
Yeah.
Yes. And
Oh,
then it says, for riches, for
okay.
is labor not
You broke
to be
up,
rich.
that's why.
Oh,
Go ahead.
okay. Labor not to be rich, cease from thine own wisdom.
And 5.
Wilt thou set thine eyes upon that which is not? For riches certainly make themselves wings. They fly away as an eagle toward heaven.
So basically, you'll be trying forever and it will not happen. So it is just a delusion for the ones who are thinking that one day they'll be rich, because where riches will go, they can go there. So the Most High is saying to us, don't even seek to be rich. Seek
Yep.
me, and you will get riches in the kingdom. That's where it is.
Yep.
Yeah. It I think it also says in Timothy somewhere, it says what? It says they grieve themselves trying to be rich.
Yeah,
Right?
they have
they
that
pierce
lined up as
themselves.
well. We have that lined up.
Oh, it's there.
Yeah.
All right, okay. Let's continue.
Matthew 12.
24.
No, 41 to 44. Wait. No, this is the wrong one. What did it say? 41 to 44. That's the wrong one. Let's go Luke 6, 24 to 25. Read, please.
But woe you that are rich, for ye have received your consolation. Oh, wow.
In other words, there's a lot of people don't understand. The Most High deals with things in opposites. If you get your consolation here on earth, you're not getting it in the kingdom. If you don't get it here on earth, you're going to get it in the kingdom. It's as simple as that. So those who are rich, they have already received their consolation here.
Wow.
Continue again.
25. Woe unto you that are full, for ye shall hunger. Woe unto you that laugh now, for ye shall mourn and weep.
Whoa. The same thing I feel when people are mocking again about this Mark of the Beast thing. I'm like, whoa, they're laughing and they're mocking and they don't understand that. Their day is gonna come when they're gonna weep and weep non-stop. Continue, verse 26.
It's almost like the opposite of the Beatitudes. Woe unto you,
Yeah.
when all men shall speak well of you, for so did their fathers to the false prophets.
So everything is opposite.
Yep.
So, no, if you're a true believer, men should not be speaking well of you. So if you're a people pleaser, you're facing woes.
Hey, I used to worry about that, eh? Until I met you. No more. It doesn't even take off my clothes. Oh boy. Yeah, you want everyone to speak well of you. You want to have a good name, you know.
Yeah.
And I used to defend it with this scripture. There's a scripture in Proverbs that says a good name is better than silver or gold. So I always use that to defend that idea, but not knowing the intention behind it was all wrong.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rich again.
Yeah, it says many pierce themselves.
Yeah, continue. Verse 6. But
1 Timothy 6, verse 6. But godliness with contentment is great gain. For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out.
All right, so this is where the leaven comes in. We brought nothing into this world, and we can't take anything out. Yet still we want to heap on things upon us. Leaven. To raise us up because of the programming of this world, because the world has programmed us. Babylon has programmed us to be this way because Babylon's system depends on it. Babylon's system depends on greed and depends on each person craving more than he or she needs. That's how it thrives. So that is how they sell you their cars. So you have a car, but now you want your wife to have a car. Your wife has a car. You want to have another car so that if you feel like going somewhere, you have this type of car. And you want another car. So you keep piling on things upon yourself.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
Leaven. And all of these things end up causing problems. Verse 8.
And having food and raiment, let us be therewith content.
Oh, let's look at this verse. Having food and raiment. All right?
Yep.
Clothing. Covering. It did not tell you anything about having food and a place to lay your head. So basics is food and clothes, not even a house. That's what we have to look at. Yeah? Verse 9.
But they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition.
They that will be rich. Those who have the intention of being rich. Those who have the intention who set out to acquire. All right? Will fall into temptations and a snare. And into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drown men in destruction and perdition. In other words, if you determine that you're going to be rich, it's almost impossible to be a true believer. That's what it's saying.
Yeah.
Verse 10.
For the love of money is a root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred or they have erred from the faith, and pierced themselves through with many sorrows.
Ah, that's it. 11 of riches. And there are many 11s, many 11s that we have to face and have to deal with. Well, I want to deal with another 11. Is Shade here? Ah, hope she is. Oh, I don't see her. All right, it's going to be recorded. I got to make sure she sees it. All right, this is for all the Seventh-day Adventists and all those who do not have an understanding of when the Shabbat begins and when it ends. All right? Just gonna have a little, of course, we deal with this extensively on justaword.org. We have several Shabbat articles, when the Shabbat ends, when it begins, a whole lot of things. But I just like to deal with the level of the Shabbat, because these Pharisees, so-called Jewish, have added leaven to the Shabbat, and the whole world has run with the leaven. Okay? The whole world has run with the leaven of the Shabbat. And this, of course, is caused by, more or less, by their interpretation of one single verse. All right? Now, the Shabbat might not seem like a salvation issue when the Shabbat starts. Oh, if I keep the Shabbat from the evening before, there's nothing wrong with it. Well, you're actually adding to the word, and you're actually believing a lie. And remember, as we said before, that the Most High gives you truth. The more you accept his truth, the more he gives you more truth. And he wants you to prove all things. And if you hang on to a lie, that means you love a lie. And of course, it says you cannot enter the kingdom loving a lie. When you're in ignorance, it is different. All right? But you have to know the truth. And we already looked at Revelation 22:15. Let's look at it again, which lays the foundation for the reason why this is absolutely necessary. Revelation 22:15 tells us that for without means outside the kingdom, are dogs and sorcerers and whoremongers and murderers and idolaters, and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie. So if you love a lie, you cannot enter into the kingdom. You have to move from truth to truth. And so, here is one of the verses that the so-called Jewish and the Seventh-day Adventists use to say that the Shabbat starts in the evening of Friday. Of course, Brother Wayne has simplified it by just telling you that if you stop using these days that they created, that man created by their traditions, Frig's Day or Frigga's Day, which is Friday, all right? If you started using the 6th day and the 7th day, then you would realize that the Shabbat cannot start on the 6th day, because there's no commandment in scripture for you to start it on the 6th day. But anyway, let's go and see what these people have conjured up. The Sabbath lie, Genesis 1, verse 5. Read it, please. Shamuel, are you there?
Genesis chapter 1, verse 5.
Yes.
And Noah called the light day. I'm here. Can you hear me though?
Read verse 5 again, please.
And Noah called the light day, and the darkness he called night, and the evening and the morning were the first day.
This is the verse that they use. So the evening and the morning were the first day. So they take it away from the light day and the darkness night, and now say the evening and the morning were the first day. Of course, this actually means he called the light day, then evening came, then the next morning. This is day one. Let me explain it. And Allah called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day. If you look to the original Hebrew, where am I? Did I have it here? The This original Hebrew says, and the darkness he called night, and were the evening, and the morning, day the first. And were the evening, and the morning, day the first. So it is saying that the evening came, and were the evening. And then it's referring now back to the original morning and says, and the morning, day the first. So that day in which it was referring to, it tells you that the evening came, and the morning was the first day. All right, we're gonna clarify it. That is what they use, and that is that sort of thin kind of verse that can be looked at in either direction that they have used to say that the day begins in the evening. But we're gonna look at a few other verses and bring it into perspective. Exodus 20, verse 8. Shemot 20, verse 8. We're going to look at the original Shabbat commandment. All right, Shamuel, read it, please.
Exodus chapter 20, verse 8. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
Okay, remember the Sabbath what?
Day to keep it holy.
And the Sabbath night?
Nope.
All right, let's see the importance of that. Remember the Sabbath. All right, this is Shabbat. Intermission, that is the Sabbath. But we're going to look at the meaning of day. And we have to understand the concordance as well. The concordance was written by Gentiles. So the Gentiles are going to try to fit in their Gentile doctrines in the concordance. There are some Hebrews who don't use a concordance at all because they say, man, the Gentiles, the Edomites created it in order to get you to believe their way. But I beg to differ. The truth is in there and the lie is in there. All right? So we're going to look at the truth and the lie about day. So the meaning of day, I don't know if you can see it. All right, let me do it as you can see it. Meaning of day is actually yom. The Hebrew yom.
Yeah.
From an unused root meaning to be hot. So the root word of day means to be hot. A day as the warm hours, whether literally from sunrise to sunset or from one sunset to the next. So they put in this one sunset to the next because it is for the Jewish. But it's really from sunrise to sunset, the hot, warm hours. That is the day. Okay?
Yeah.
That is what a day means. So remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Remember the Sabbath warm part of the day from sunrise to sunset to keep it holy. But let's look a little more. And let's go to John 11:9. Who is that singing? You're disturbing. John 11:9. These people have done injustice with the 11. You have to remove the 11. John 11:9. Read, please.
John chapter 11, verse 9. Yahusha answered, are there not 12 hours in the day? If any man walk in the day, he stumbleth not, because he seeth the light of this world.
So when it says a Sabbath day, the 12 hours of Sabbath, that's what it's talking about. Are there not 12 hours in the day?
During the day, yes.
Let's go to Genesis 19:34. I have maybe about 70 different verses that we can look at to show when it starts and ends. It's all over the Bible, but we read it looking for other things and don't realize it. Genesis 19:34. Read slowly, please.
Genesis chapter 19, verse 34. And it came to pass on the morrow.
Hold on. It came to pass on the when?
On the morrow.
Right. That the firstborn said unto the younger,
Behold, I lay yesternight with my father.
I lay last night with my father. On the morrow, I lay last night.
Yes.
So, if the day began in the evening, how can last night be the night before?
Yeah.
How can the morrow be the next day?
Yeah.
Continue.
Let us make him drink wine this night also.
Oh, continue.
And go thou in and lie with him, that we may preserve seed of our father.
Okay, so yesternight, last night, and then we have the morrow, and then tonight also. It shows us that tonight, yesternight was not the same day. Just give me a little touch of some of the little verses. Numbers 11:32. We could be here all day doing this. Trust me. If the post on justaword.org has maybe about 10,000 words. Very detailed. You can check it out. It's called When Does the Sabbath Begin? It's the #1 post on justaword.org. Numbers 11:32. Read, please.
Numbers chapter 11, verse 32. And the people stood up all that day.
Oh, all that day they stood up, right?
Yep.
And then?
And all that night.
And then?
All the next day.
Stop there. If the day began in the evening, how can we have all that day and all that night and all the next day? You see that, bro?
Yep, it's specifying times and and given this is describing that it's night, it's day, it's night, it's day.
Thank you very much. And all the next day, and it shows you that the next day is not at night.
Yeah.
Or evening.
So it's an all day and it's an all night.
And all the next day.
Yeah.
Exodus 16:23-25. This is the leaven of the Sabbath. The leaven of the Shabbat. Read, please.
Exodus 16, verse 23. And he said unto them, this is that which Yahuwah hath said. Tomorrow is the rest of the holy Sabbath.
Oh, tomorrow.
Yep.
So tomorrow is this, so Sabbath is a tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see if the tomorrow is in the evening.
All right.
Continue.
All right. And it says, tomorrow is the rest of the holy Sabbath unto Yahuwah. Bake that which ye will bake today.
Mm-hmm.
And seeth that ye will seeth.
Seeth.
And that, seeth. And that which remaineth over lay up for you to be kept until the morning.
Until the morning. And the morning is what?
Sabbath.
Verse 24.
The day. And they laid it up till the morning, as Moses bade, and it did not stink, neither was there any worm therein.
Why didn't it stink? The next verse is gonna tell you why it didn't stink, and it's gonna tell you which day is tomorrow. In the morning. In the morning. I don't know where these people come from with this evening to evening Sabbath. It's so crazy. In the morning. Verse 25.
And Moses said, eat that today,
Oh, for today is what?
for today is a Sabbath unto Yahuwah.
Hey. Go ahead.
Today ye shall not find it in the field.
All right. Bake what you'll bake today. Tomorrow is the Sabbath. Tomorrow is the rest. Tomorrow is the Sabbath. And they laid it up until the morning. The morning. And today, this morning is the Sabbath.
But bro, isn't it interesting that
Yeah.
the nights we already rest on the night? So why would the Most High also tell us to rest again on the night?
To rest again in the
night, in the evening, because that is what we already do.
yes.
So it will be pointless for him to tell us, guys, rest on this night. No, because we rest already on the night.
Yeah. That makes so much sense. That makes so much sense. We are not
Brother
done.
B, Brother
Yeah,
B,
go ahead.
I see where it is all coming from. Religion, because 99.99% of them did not read it. They heard from their leader. That's it.
Yes, yes.
And they
Leaven.
probably come look and see and show it to them and they just believe it.
Leaven.
And the next thing is we have to remember that Satan say he wants to be like the Most High, right?
Yeah.
So if the Most High set forth a Sabbath day, Satan gonna set forth a Sabbath night.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if what those guys are doing from Friday is doing the Sabbath unto Satan,
Yes.
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah. Opposites.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, another one. I love this. 1 Samuel 9:11. I love doing this because it's so, I don't know. I love when open up people's eyes with this because it is so plain and obvious. 1 Samuel 9:11.
1 Samuel chapter 9, verse 11. And as they went up the hill to the city, they found young maidens going out to draw water, and
No,
said unto
no, I think this is the wrong. Don't tell me that I got the wrong one. 1 Samuel 9:11. All right, do Zephaniah 3:3 in the meantime. I have to find that 1 Samuel. Zephaniah 3:3. That doesn't look like the right one.
Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 3.
Yeah.
The princes within her are roaring lions. Her judges are evening wolves. They gnaw not the bones till the morrow.
All right. They are evening wolves and they gnaw not the bones till the morrow. Evening is not the morrow. The morrow is in the morning. Let's go another translation to get what I'm saying. Read verse 3 again, please, in English Standard Version.
Her officials within her are roaring lions. Her judges are evening wolves that leave nothing till the morning.
So the evening is not the morning. The evening is not the morrow.
Yeah.
You see that, bro?
Yeah.
Let me try to find that 1 Samuel thingy. Because I need it. 1 Samuel 9:11. Um, Getting there. If you have anything to say in the meantime, you can say it, bro.
Yeah, this is a timely message because as humans, we have a need to feel significant, all right? So we always over explain, even when it comes to the word. We don't take the word literally as what it's trying to tell us, then begin to ask questions, within the word itself and allow scripture to teach us. We always want to feel like we know. And it's the same thing our pastors have been found victims of. They've been victims of this, where they take one passage and then, boom, it's a whole doctrine.
All right, so that is why we have to beware of the leaven of the Pharisees. I found it now.
All
1
right,
Samuel 9:19, 11. It's not 9, it's 19.
All righty.
All right, read that now, bro.
Saul sent messengers to David's house to watch him, that he might kill him in the morning.
Kill him when?
In the morning.
In the what?
In the morning. In the
All right.
morrow.
Continue.
But Michal, David's wife, told him, if you do not escape with your life tonight, tomorrow you will be killed.
Oh, so we have, he will be killed in the morning.
Yeah.
And Michal overheard, and Michal said, tomorrow you will be killed. That means tomorrow is when?
In the morning.
Yes. Tomorrow is a new day.
So they were in the night talking about the morrow.
And tomorrow is?
And the morrow is the morning.
Yes. So the day begins in the morning. The day cannot begin in the evening, people. That's from Babylon. They got it from Babylon.
Wow.
Leviticus 23:27. Leviticus 23:27. This is the one that we need to explain. I've explained it to you last time, I think, was in our third day fellowship, but let's just explain it now. Again, this is the one that the Seventh-day Adventists throw at you. They repeat, from even to even, you must celebrate your Sabbaths. This is one of the things that they use. I want you to look carefully. Just 2 verses, we're going to look at the account of the Day of Atonement. Read, please. Verse 27 and 32, we're going to look at. Read, please.
Leviticus 23, verse 27. Now on the 10th day of the 7th month is the Day of Atonement. It shall be for you a time of holy convocation, and you shall afflict yourselves and present a food offering to Yahuwah.
All right. Now on the what? Which day?
On the 10th day.
All right. So the Day of Atonement is on the 10th day. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now read verse 32.
Verse 32. It shall be to you a Sabbath of solemn rest, and you shall afflict yourselves on the 9th day of the month, beginning at evening.
Oh, on which day? Wait. The Day of Atonement is what day?
It's on the 10th day.
It's on the 10th day. But it's telling you here, on the 9th day.
On the 9th day of the month, beginning at evening.
Yes. Continue.
Right? Yeah. Beginning at evening. From evening to evening shall you keep your Sabbath.
So this is what they're saying. From evening to evening. They just pick out this part. Just pick it out. And leave the rest. Because the Day of Atonement, if you're looking carefully, is on the 10th. But he's telling you that you have to start celebrating it from the 9th.
Yes.
At evening.
Yeah.
Until the 10th at evening.
Yeah.
So the 9th day of the first evening is a different day from the 10th day at evening. Everybody see that?
Yep.
Hope so. It's so obvious. All right. And the fact that it ends at evening tells you that the Sabbath ends at evening, which is what we're going to look at next. Because some people now will say, okay, Sabbath begins in the morning. But it is a 24-hour Sabbath. Because they are now using this verse. That's why you see the secret to the scriptures. Precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line upon line upon line, there a little, here a little, there a little. You cannot take a one verse and make doctrine. That's what it's actually saying with all what I just said a while ago.
Yeah.
Even if a one verse sounds as if it's saying so convincing, because look, I'm going to show you this verse. This verse sounds so convincing. Matthew 28:1. To say, okay, the Sabbath is 24 hours and it ends little bit before morning. Matthew 28, verse 1. Where am I? Matthew 28, 1. That's 27, 1.
When morning came.
Read, please.
28 verse 1. Now after the Sabbath, toward the dawn of the first day of the week, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary went to see the tomb.
All right. No, after the Sabbath, toward the dawn of the first day of the week. Now the person seeing this, and this is what they use to make their 24-hour Sabbath that starts in the morning and ends a little bit before the morning. Because it says after the Sabbath, toward the dawn of the first day of the week. So the Sabbath to them ends a little before the dawn of the first day of the week. They think that this is what this is saying. All right? But what he's actually saying is saying after the Sabbath day was over. And the Sabbath day was over the evening before. And we're going to prove that because we're going to look at this same account in the book of Mark, which is going to prove to us that the Sabbath ends in the evening. Mark 16, verses 1 to 2. Read that, please.
Mark chapter 16, verse 1. When the Sabbath was past, Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of James, and Salome bought spices so that they might go and anoint him.
All right. So after the Sabbath, they bought spices. And you know, we can't buy and sell on the Shabbat. When the Shabbat is over, then you can buy and sell. All right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Remember, after the Sabbath was over, she bought spices. So if you go back to Matthew 28, 1, Matthew 28, 1 told you after the Sabbath, but he did not tell you what happened after the Sabbath.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go back here. So after the Sabbath, they bought spices. Very important. And verse 2 says?
And very early on the first day of the week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very early on the first day of the week. Now, this is showing us that it's speaking about a different day, but let's continue. And very early on the first day of the week, what happened?
When the sun had risen, they went to the tomb.
All right. So after the Shabbat, if the Shabbat had finished right early in the morning, how could they very early on the first day of the week, where would they buy spices early in the morning? Were they the early morning malls over there at that time, 24-hour malls?
No.
Right? When the Sabbath was past, when the Sabbath was over in the evening,
yeah,
they went and bought spices. So after the Sabbath, the places would open back for the people to go and now buy things that they couldn't buy on the Sabbath day.
Yeah.
So they bought it. And so early, and then early in the morning, now they woke up and went to the tomb.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it. That's just it.
Context.
There's another
Context. Yeah.
Yep. And there's another one that I want to show. Another one of an account. Well, that can stay. There are so many. There are so many of them here. I'll just leave it at that. But just to say, this is the leaven of the Shabbat. They have added to the Shabbat. They have added to the Shabbat. And as truth seekers, as those who are in the way, we have to seek out the truth. Because the Messiah says, he is the way, the truth, and the life. So we have to be truth seekers and follow the truth. The Shabbat does not begin in the evening before. The Shabbat is the seventh day. It begins on the morrow, on the morning of the seventh day, and ends at sunset. It is a 12-hour Shabbat. All right. And Shamuel really spoke the right thing when he said they normally slept in the evening. So why would he let them give them a Shabbat to sleep in the evening? It's the same thing. The Shabbat was a rest from work. They usually worked during the day hours. All right. They never usually worked at night. So that is why it is a rest. All right. And the rest does not begin in the evening. It begins in the morning of the seventh day and ends at sunset on the seventh day. All right. So this was our look at the hidden danger of leaven as we are in the feast, the middle of the feast of unleavened bread. And we are looking at the significance of the feast as it relates to leaven in our lives and leaven in everything that we do, because the tendency of man is to add and to subtract from what the Most High has given us. So the Most High is saying, do not add nor take away from my word. So on the Feast of Unleavened Bread, we concentrate on restoring the word, because he says we cannot give his sacrifice with leaven. So we have to restore his word back to the point where there is no leaven, no addition to his word. All right. So during this time, let us focus. We mentioned some different leavens. Let us focus on getting rid of these leavens out of our lives. All right. So that we can be found pure and we can be ready for anything that the enemy has to throw at us. All right. Anything y'all have to say? El Pedro, you always go away early. Are you there? Want to hear from you, El Pedro.
I always go early.
I always run away early. When I call, he say, "Where's Pedro?" You see, he's gone.
Gone. Yeah, I would really appreciate this teaching, because especially when it comes to the riches. Before we came to the truth, we all strive. Some of us, me, I would say, strive to be rich. We ended up accumulating things that eventually became a problem to us. Now, with this teaching, we do understand that there's so much we have to get rid of, so that at least we can concentrate, because where men's riches are, that's where his heart is. So we need to concentrate on the promise. And I want to again thank Yahuwah for this teaching today, because the issue of the Shabbat, where we start from daybreak to the evening, that caused confusion to me and a couple other people that I spoke to, because they had the same issue that the day before, the evening, that's when the Shabbat starts. And now this became much clearer today, and it helps so that we can be able to explain to others. And thank you for clarifying this. And again, the issue of the pride, that's what actually goes more unto us. We always strive to have better clothes, better cars, better houses, and that goes along with pride. There is no way you can have better car, better shoe, better suit, and not want to look the way your clothes, your price tag is. You always want to feel better than others. And this teaching actually brought light onto us, and I really appreciate that. That is just my gratitude. I rest my case.
All right. Thanks, bro. All right. Let's hear from Brother Wine. Brother Clavon.
Can I say something, by the way?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, El Pedro.
Brother Samuel must sell the Rolex. Don't keep the Rolex for it.
Sell it and give to the poor.
But Pedro, it was my photographer's fault. I had no watch on my hands. He said it will beautify the image, so I fell for that. I will. I think it's. I will sell it. I will sell it. It's coming. I will sell the. I will sell them all.
Really, we already discussed this in so much houses, cars. I'm lying here with so many cars. So
I never heard you, Pedro. What did you say about cars?
now I was saying that I have a lot to sell. Houses, cars. I'm lying here with 4 or 5 cars, which I'm not using.
Oh.
I'm not alone. You are with me as well.
So, but wait, all these African people so rich. What's going on here? Huh?
Hey,
You win?
That means that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. All right. Wayne, your time.
All right. So on the whole Leaven thing, for the ones who know about fried dumpling, all it takes is a little bit of baking powder or baking soda to put inside there, and that dumpling will rise up and get so big and soft and nice. Many people would not eat it without it being so raised and soft and nice. But the time will come when our life will be without, or without the baking powder. So it will be tough and crafty. So at this point, we have to learn how to accept life as it is without the baking powder, without the leaven, because the leaven is what will kill us. And if you realize the world know about this, because almost everything that we like, there is a little leaven inside of it. When I go to the store, I have to search those ingredients diligently to see what is in these things. So definitely we have to take out those leaven from our lives. And everything that was said this morning, if you should put them in a strainer and sift it, you will realize that everything goes all the way down to denying ourselves. If we do that, then we realize that those things could not escape in our life. So that is simply saying to us, we still are not there as yet where we deny ourselves, because that is where all those leaven will escape and take over. So let's just again see towards denying ourselves so we can be holy. We'll be without blemish, because it will take that for us to move forward.
Okay. Shamual.
yeah, Rabi. Yes. Everything that needs to be said has been said. I mean, for the past 2 hours, that's exactly everything that needs to be said. All right. I know there could be somebody out there thinking, but wait a second. Did the Messiah really mean that guy or that young rich ruler should sell everything? Is it literal? Brother B, was it literal?
Yes, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it is literal. All right. So whoever's sitting there thinking to themselves, do I really need to do that? Yes, you need to do that. You should keep what you need. All right. Not overly. That's why they say even excess eating is what is gluttony. All right. So we have to just be obedient. Brother Wayne keeps talking about it. Deny self, deny self, deny self. It is all about denying self, because when you're trying to deny yourself and you are gathering riches, you are going to end up piercing yourself with what? With addiction. You will be stuck. These things will become a burden to you. All right. You buy 2 cars, you are always worrying about the cars. Your child touches 1 car, you scream. All right. It's an idea of, so the more we narrow it down to what is necessary, what we need, it helps our lives, or it helps us to be able to shape up to become the model of the Mashiach, right? The model of the Mashiach. They didn't think of what they were going to eat next morning. They always moved, and when they arrived and they were hungry, they found food. They got food. It's the exact same way. So let us not wonder anymore. Let us try to deny ourselves and to not add on to the word. What you read is exactly what it is telling you. So let's be careful of the leaven, all right?
All right, bro.
Yeah.
So what I'd like to tell all persons who are watching this, because I assume that all persons who are watching this will know exactly and understand exactly what is happening in this world with this vax that they are bringing on this world. Okay?
Yeah.
What is happening, or what will be happening, is if we do not wean ourselves of riches, if we do not wean ourselves of this world, then we might possibly be snared, because the riches are going to be an addiction. And like that young man who had to turn away from the Messiah because he had much riches, we too are going to reach to the point and say, hey, if I don't take this thing, I won't be able to do this. I won't be able to have my car. How am I going to license my car? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? Yeah. And then you might end up bowing. So you have to condition yourself from now, wean yourself from materialism, wean yourself from riches, wean yourself from the desire to have this and to have this and to change this and to change that, and to wean yourselves. Yes?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wean yourselves.
Bro, I just wanna add on quickly before you wrap up. You just said it, and it's very important. The one we fear, the reason why we do this is because we love and we fear. Fear here means reverence, all right? We reverence the Most High. And we all know that if when he speaks to us and we do not listen, and when he comes down, all right, to take action, we all know he announces this, I am Yahuwah, you are going to experience something, all right? Yes. So if we do not take this very reasonable warning and love message, then the time comes when we are being drawn out to the wilderness, many are going to fall away. And this is why Brother Brian keeps emphasizing, and Brother Wayne also keeps talking about this all the time. So it's not nagging, it is love, because when the day of Yahuwah comes, it's not going to be nice, all right? It's not going to be nice when you're in the wilderness. You're going to be starving literally for like a day or two, trying to find your way through to find food. It's not going to be a supermarket there, and then you can easily access things. So now is the time to start learning how to detach from what? From the worldly things, all right? And that's what we're talking about.
All right, let me just finish from YouTube, and we can continue in this group. All right. Okay. All right, so let me get this view up. All right, so thanks once again for watching here on Just a Word. Okay. Like if you like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel if you have not yet done so. All right. This is Khazak Eliyahu Yasharal here from Just a Word Radio. Please share this video and continue to watch our other videos as we continue to share with you. All right. Until next time.